It is Sunday, the 17th of September. We're looking at a Montreal Unitarian trying to erase my chalk slogan. Very good, and well done, madame. So this woman in the blue so let's have a look what she did here. Yep, exposing Unitarian child sex abuse. So she got rid of the sex abuse. Do you realize when you erase my chalk slogans that people cannot practice the fourth principle of Unitarian Universalism, which calls for a free and responsible search for truth and meaning? Do you think you can hide the truth by just erasing my chalk slogans? Because I hate to say so, but there's actually newspaper articles about Unitarian Universalist ministers and Unitarian Universalist Sunday school teachers who've been charged, tried, and convicted of such despicable crimes as pedophilia and rape, if you don't mind my using a choice phrase of the Unitarian Universalist Association's Canadian attorney, Maître Marc-André Coulombe. So I just want to put you on notice that in trying to erase my chalk slogan, you are a knowing and willful participant in Unitarian Universalist cover-up and denial of pedophilia and rape.
This woman who has a bit of hard of hearing, she's having a hard time being in dialogue with me. Thank you.
Well, I'm talking to you right now. So this Unitarian, I presume, is more concerned about hearing what her friend has to say than hearing what I have to say about her knowing and willful participation in Unitarian cover-up and denial of child sex abuse committed by Unitarian Universalist ministers and Unitarian Universalist Sunday school teachers, to say nothing of Unitarian Universalist lay leaders like Richard Buell. She really does not care in the least that she is a participant in concealing Unitarian Universalist child sex abuse. So, typical response from a Unitarian, most likely. She's not a Unitarian, she's a collaborator nonetheless in Unitarian Universalist cover-up and denial of child sex abuse committed by Unitarian Universalist ministers such as Reverend Mac Wallace Mitchell, Unitarian Universalist Sunday school teachers such as Stephen Craig Bullite, and Unitarian Universalist lay leaders such as Richard Buell of First Parish Norwell. So yeah, just all she's really doing is proving my point about the fact that Unitarian Universalists do go to extreme and foolish lengths to conceal their clergy sex abuse problem and to even outright deny the sexual abuse of children. You know, just make a total mockery of not only Unitarian Universalism's fourth principle, which calls for a free and responsible search for truth and meaning, but also Unitarian Universalism's second principle, which calls for justice, equity, and compassion in human relations, because you can't have justice when you're hiding the truth. You know, the whole point of you know, swearing to tell the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth when you go to a court of law is to ensure that justice is done based on the truth. When you try to hide the truth, you're basically obstructing justice. So we're going to continue our little protest here. I went away and I had a little coffee break. It's the 17th of September 2017, if I haven't already mentioned that. And I actually anticipated that I might come back and you know, find my chalk slogans outright erased already. That was one possibility, or possibly being in the process of being erased. Now normally, you know, the leadership of the Unitarian Church of Montreal erases my chalk slogans using a hose. or a bucket of water and a broom kind of thing. But, you know, as it is, when I was coming back, I noticed my other slogans were intact, but then I noticed this woman scuffing away at the chalk slogan that's at the western entrance into the Unitarian Church of Montreal, trying to erase it, trying to make it difficult, if not impossible, to read. So essentially trying to hide the truth about the fact that Unitarian Universalists have their fair share of child sex abuse committed by their ministers and their Sunday school teachers and their lay people, and that unfortunately, instead of acknowledging the truth, they try to hide it. So we'll just set up my picket signs here, and we shall protest a little bit longer. So this picket sign, which says Church of the Image Tarnishing Ministers, used to be singular, used to apply only to Reverend Ray Drennan and his tarnishing of the image of not only the Unitarian Church of Montreal, but also the greater Unitarian Universalist religious community with some of his poorly chosen words. But it obviously applies to Unitarian Universalist ministers who tarnish the image of either the Unitarian Church of Montreal or the larger church, in quotation marks, of Unitarian Universalism. And I've certainly broadened it out to include people like Reverend Dr. Victoria Weinstein and Reverend Dr. Peter Morales and Reverend Mac Mitchell and other Unitarian Universalist ministers who in one way or another tarnish the image of Unitarian Universalism. So anyhow, we're going to circulate here with a picket sign that says unsafe sect, and another one that says Unitarian Universalist perversion of justice, sucks you asterisk you. And looks like we got plenty of cars driving by here to see the signs. Got a few pedestrians and some cyclists. Oh, and it looks like we got a bus taxi thing showing up here. I guess it's showing up for this woman in the walker. So yeah, we'll just show the signs to these people here. But yeah, the woman in the blue dress, as it were, tried to erase, obscure my chalk slogan by scuffing it with her feet repeatedly, which just makes her a knowing and willful participant in Unitarian Universalist cover-up and denial of child sex abuse committed by Unitarian Universalist ministers and Unitarian Universalist Sunday school teachers and Unitarian Universalist lay people. But she seems totally unconcerned about her active role in covering up clergy abuse, clergy sexual abuse of children specifically, because that's what that slogan was about. It was specifically about Unitarian child sex abuse. It wasn't about ordinary run-of-the-mill Unitarian Universalist clergy sexual misconduct, which usually takes the form of Unitarian Universalist ministers having sexual relations with their congregants, sometimes including married congregants, i.e. congregants who are married to other people while the minister is having a little affair with them. So anyhow, we shall continue to display the signs here. But yeah, it looks like the church is loading up a bus with some of its more disabled members. Well, we shall circulate here and display the signs to the passing cars and pedestrians and so on. Oh, looks like my picket sign either got blown or possibly knocked by someone leaving the church. Wouldn't be the first time that somebody had knocked down one of my picket signs, but I suspect with the wind situation being what it is, it was probably just the wind. So anyhow, we'll just show the signs and I got a guy coming here. So anyhow, yeah, it's always good to be able to get some video of Montreal Unitarian actively trying to erase my chalk slogans or steal my picket signs or vandalize my picket signs or assault me, that kind of stuff. So we got today's little example of that kind of behavior. So anyhow, we'll just continue to circulate. I was hoping to see that woman in the blue dress one more time, but I guess she went in the bus. Let's make sure this camera is still rolling. It does have a bit of a bad habit of shutting off unexpectedly at times, but we're still good, yeah. 11 minutes and 40 seconds into the first segment of video. Righty. Got some people coming out this way. Looks like John Ender just stepped out of the church. Former president of the Unitarian Church of Montreal, who is very involved in efforts to shut down my protest and hide the truth about Unitarian Universalist clergy sexual misconduct and clergy sex abuse, including sexual abuse of children, and yet he has set himself up as a kind of a consultant on sexual harassment matters. He's got some sort of business he's set up. He's some kind of consultant to institutions and businesses and so on how to deal with sexual harassment, prevent sexual harassment, and yet he's very, very involved in helping Unitarian Universalists cover up and hide their clergy sexual abuse problems. So a little bit of a hypocrite there, Mr. John Ender. Of course, that's not the only way he's a hypocrite, but I'd say that's one of the more glaring ones. So anyhow, we shall continue to circulate here. Plenty of cars to see the signs today. Quite a number of them. bus or two. Oh, I heard somebody clapping. That's nice. It's very rare that I hear someone clap. I mean, I get the occasional honk, I get thumbs up, I get, you know, various affirmations, but I honestly think this is the first time ever I've actually heard someone clapping, giving a little applause. So yeah, a little feather in my cap for protesting against Unitarian Universalist clergy abuse and other Unitarian Universalist injustices, abuses, and hypocrisy. I'll take a little clap any day. Okay, so this is the person who doesn't enjoy my filming. Yeah. Maybe it is Sue Montgomery, I'm not sure. Off chance that it is Sue Montgomery, I think I'm going to show the other side of one of my signs.